You know what absolutely disgusts me? The fact that Brock Lesnar can show up whenever he feels like it, destroy whoever he wants, and WWE just lets it happen like it's perfectly normal. And before you keyboard warriors start defending this part-time monster in the comments, let me ask you something. When was the last time Lesnar faced real consequences? I'll wait. The 4th of October 2025 will go down as one of the most cowardly displays we've ever witnessed, and if you're not angry about what happened to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, then you're part of the problem. This wasn't wrestling, this was an assassination, and I'm about to break down exactly why this entire situation is wrong on every single level. Let's set the scene. Friday night SmackDown, sold-out arena, fans expecting a normal show, and then the music hits. That demonic sound that makes every WWE superstar's blood run cold. Brock Lesnar's music, and immediately, you could feel the atmosphere change. Paul Heyman, that slimy advocate, walks out first with his usual smug expression, holding the microphone like he's about to deliver the sermon of the century. But here's where it gets interesting. Heyman wasn't there to talk. He was there to introduce chaos. Seth Rollins was in the ring, cutting a promo about his upcoming championship aspirations, talking about how he's clawed his way back to the top after years of injuries, setbacks, and wars with some of the biggest names in the industry. The architect was pouring his heart out, being vulnerable with the WWE Universe, and that's when Lesnar decided to strike. Like a coward, like someone who can't handle facing a prepared opponent, Lesnar stormed down that ramp with a purpose we haven't seen in years. This wasn't the cocky, bouncing Brock. This was the Beast incarnate, the Destroyer, the same Lesnar who broke The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, the same Lesnar who made John Cena look like a child at SummerSlam 2014. And Seth Rollins, to his credit, didn't back down. He dropped the microphone and got into a fighting stance, ready to throw hands with this over 300-pound mountain of muscle. But here's the thing about Brock Lesnar, he doesn't fight fair, and he never has. Before Seth could even react, Lesnar hit him with a devastating clothesline that nearly took his head off. The sound echoed through the arena, and then came the German suplexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive German suplexes, each one more brutal than the last. Seth's body was being ragdolled like he weighed nothing, and you could see the pain on his face with each landing. The crowd was in complete shock. Some were cheering because, let's be honest, Brock Lesnar is box office. But most were booing, throwing trash into the ring, absolutely disgusted by what they were witnessing. And where were the officials? Where was security? Nowhere. They always show up when it's convenient, but when a real crisis happens, they are mysteriously absent. Now here's where this goes from bad to unforgivable. Becky Lynch, the man herself, Seth's wife, came running down to the ring to try and stop the assault. And what did Lesnar do? He laughed. Paul Heyman was laughing. They thought it was hilarious that Becky would dare step to the Beast. She got right in Lesnar's face, screaming at him, shoving him, doing everything she could to protect her husband. And in that moment, you saw something terrifying in Lesnar's eyes. He grabbed Becky by the arm, and I want everyone watching this video to understand the gravity of what I'm about to say. He positioned her for an F5. The entire arena lost their minds. Fans were screaming no, at the top of their lungs. Other wrestlers started running down from the back, but they were too late. Lesnar delivered the F5 to Becky Lynch. The man, one of the toughest competitors in WWE history, a Grand Slam champion, a trailblazer, and he dropped her like she was nothing, right onto the unconscious body of Seth Rollins. The visual was sickening. Husband and wife, two of WWE's biggest stars, laid out in the center of the ring while Brock Lesnar stood over them like some kind of twisted conqueror. Let me ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly in the comments. Was this necessary? Did this make Brock Lesnar look strong, or did it make him look like a monster who crossed a line that should never be crossed? Drop your thoughts below because I want to have a real conversation about this. The cameras caught everything in graphic detail. Medical personnel flooded the ring. Stretchers were brought out. Seth was holding his neck, barely conscious. Becky was clutching her ribs, gasping for air, and as they were being loaded onto stretchers, Heyman grabbed a microphone and delivered one of the most chilling promos of his career. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, my client Brock Lesnar is no longer interested in championships. He's interested in legacy, and his legacy will be built on the broken bodies of everyone who ever doubted him." What? So now we're supposed to believe that Lesnar is on some kind of personal vendetta tour where he just attacks people randomly? Where's the logic in that? Where's the storytelling? This feels like WWE is just letting Lesnar do whatever he wants because he brings ratings. Consequences be damned. Social media absolutely exploded after this segment. Twitter, or X, whatever we're calling it now, was trending worldwide within minutes. Fire Brock Lesnar was the #1 trend. Fans were demanding that WWE suspend him, fine him, or even terminate his contract. But here's the reality that nobody wants to admit: WWE won't do anything because Brock Lesnar is untouchable. He's proven time and time again that he can disappear for months, come back, and still be the most talked about person in the company. But let's talk about Seth and Becky for a moment. These two have given everything to WWE. Seth has been a workhorse champion, carrying multiple brands on his back, working through injuries, and always showing up when the company needs him. Becky revolutionized women's wrestling, main event WrestleMania, and became a global icon. They don't deserve this disrespect. They don't deserve to be used as stepping stones for Lesnar's ego. Here's a question for the longtime fans: do you remember when WWE used to protect their top stars? When champions had mystique and weren't just being fed to part-timers? Let me know in the comments how you feel about the current booking philosophy. Backstage segments after the attack were equally intense. Adam Pearce, the SmackDown general manager, was shown in his office looking absolutely devastated, fielding phone calls and dealing with the fallout. Wrestlers were gathered around monitors, some angry, some scared, all wondering if they would be next on Lesnar's hit list. Cody Rhodes was shown clenching his fists, clearly wanting to go after Lesnar but being held back by his advisors. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief himself, was shown smirking, almost amused by the chaos, which opens up a whole different can of worms about potential allegiances. The medical update that came later in the show revealed that Seth Rollins suffered bruised ribs, a possible concussion, and severe neck strain. Becky Lynch had similar injuries plus a potential shoulder separation. Both were being transported to a local medical facility for further evaluation. Translation: they are going to be out of action for weeks, maybe months, and their momentum has been completely derailed. And you know what the worst part is? This is exactly what Vince McMahon, or whoever's running creative now, wants. They want us talking. They want us angry. They want us tuning in next week to see what happens. It's carnage for ratings, and we're all playing into their hands. But I refuse to just accept this as good television when it comes at the expense of performers who actually show up and do the work. Let's analyze the implications moving forward. If Seth Rollins was building toward a championship match, that's done. His momentum is killed. If Becky Lynch was in line for any major program, that's shelved. Meanwhile, Lesnar gets to disappear again until WWE needs a quick ratings boost, and then he'll show up, destroy someone else, and the cycle continues. It's predictable, it's lazy, and frankly, it's insulting to the intelligence of the fans. Think about this: how many times have we seen this exact scenario play out? Lesnar shows up, dominates, leaves, rinse and repeat. There's no character development, no long-term storytelling, just shock value and violence. And while I appreciate good old-fashioned intensity, there needs to be a purpose behind it. What's the endgame here? Is Lesnar building to a match at Survivor Series, Crown Jewel, WrestleMania? Or is this just random chaos for chaos's sake? Here's another question for you experts out there: who should be the one to finally stop Brock Lesnar? Should it be Seth getting his revenge? Cody Rhodes stepping up? Or maybe someone completely unexpected? Drop your fantasy booking in the comments. The ripple effects of this attack are going to be felt for months. Tag team divisions, championship pictures, storylines that were in motion, all disrupted because of one man's rampage. And the scariest part, Lesnar looked like he was just getting started. The expression on his face as he left the ring wasn't satisfaction, it was hunger. He wants more destruction. He wants more victims. And unless someone steps up to stop him, this is only going to get worse. Paul Heyman's closing words before they disappeared up the ramp were haunting: this is just the beginning. Everyone on the roster is on notice. My client doesn't care about your feelings, your families, or your careers. He cares about one thing: proving he's the most dangerous human being to ever step foot in a WWE ring. And after tonight, who's going to argue with that? The WWE universe is divided right now. Some people are calling this the best segment of the year, praising the intensity and unpredictability. Others are threatening to cancel their Peacock subscriptions, disgusted by the violence and the disrespect shown to Seth and Becky. Where do you stand? Are you entertained, or are you angry? Your voice matters, so make it heard in the comments section. As we look ahead to next week's SmackDown, the big question is whether we'll get any follow-up or if WWE is just going to move on like this never happened. Will Seth and Becky get their revenge? Will other superstars band together to take down Lesnar? Or will this just be another chapter in the never-ending book of Brock Lesnar does whatever he wants with zero consequences? What happened on the 4th of October 2025 was more than just a wrestling segment, it was a statement. A statement that Brock Lesnar is still the most dangerous force in WWE. A statement that nobody is safe. And a statement that WWE is willing to sacrifice anyone and everyone for a viral moment. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't ignore it. And that's exactly what they are counting on. So here's my final challenge to you: share this video with every wrestling fan you know. Let's get this conversation going across the entire community. Let's hold WWE accountable for their booking decisions. And most importantly, let's show Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch the support they deserve after being put through this unnecessary brutality. They are fighters, they'll come back stronger, but they shouldn't have to endure this in the first place. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe to Wrestling Zone 1 for more breaking news and analysis, and turn on notifications so you never miss when we drop these urgent updates. The wrestling world is moving fast, and we're your source for real talk, no sugarcoating, just pure passion for this business we all love. Until next time, stay strong, stay loud, and never stop demanding better from the companies we support.